What's good, y'all? Welcome to Old School New Vibes 2022,
OSNV,
episode 2, OSNV, whatever you
two in a
want to
row.
call
We're
it.
on we're on a
Just call
roll.
us.
We're on a roll.
Yes,
Two in a
yes,
row.
yes. Consistency is the key to
That's right.
mastery.
That's
What's good,
right.
my
That's right.
brother?
Practice
How are
makes
you?
perfect. Chilling, brother. Keeping busy, trying to get some beats to write to. I'm getting
Yo,
the itch to get back in the booth. Yeah, I
I
heard
sent you
some.
a couple joints. I
Yeah, I heard
sent you a
some good
couple.
joints. There's some good joints, man. There's some really good production on there.
I know, I know you looking.
I'm looking for some boom bap shit because um I could do double time stuff, but I want to represent like on some
What you got, what
hip
you
hop
got on
shit.
your chest is some boom bap shit, right? That's what it is. I
Yeah,
know.
I want that gritty New York vibe. You know what I mean? But that's just me,
Yeah.
bro. Like those are the
No,
joints.
that's fine
Those are
too.
the type of joints I want to get on, and I'm just thinking of the compilation, like bringing dope MCs to the project. It's gonna be fun. So it's gonna be a fun journey to
Oh,
do
nah.
this.
I literally have to go through so many different emails, bro. I went through like fucking 10 pages.
Mhm.
I have so much just junk mail that
Yeah.
even though it gets filtered, I have the spam folder, I have the marketing folder, and there's still a lot of shit to go. You know what takes up a lot of the space? Fucking chess.com, bro.
Um,
Every time you make a move, you get an email. Do you have that?
No, you could turn that off.
Maybe
I
that's
don't
what I
get that.
think I need to.
Yeah, I don't get that. Every time you make a
Yo,
move, that's
every
crazy.
time, and yeah,
Ah,
son.
change your settings, B.
Yeah, that's
So
what I gotta do, God.
we might have to
But
jump
yeah,
on a chess game after this.
we will. We
That's a
shall.
separate segment. We'll save that for the Kings
Yes.
to Castles.
Yeah. Let's actually segue that in. Kings of Castle. I know we only got like one episode, but
Yeah,
that's definitely something that we hold to heart too. That I'm sure a lot of people out there. You'll be surprised, man. There's a lot of people that play chess and stuff. It's funny because Logan, I went over to check Logan,
mm.
and some of his peoples was over there, and I had to get my hands dirty over there, shed some blood over there.
Oh, they were
But
playing
shout
chess.
out, yeah,
But
yeah, shout out to Logan.
y'all were playing chess or having knife fights. Which one?
We were playing knife fights on the chessboard. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
dope. Mystery of chess boxing.
Yes, but nah. Shout out to Logan. It's crazy, bro. We need you on. He'll be on one of these next episodes. But we are again, as we mentioned, we're gonna start having some guests.
Whenever you're ready, the door is open. No pressure.
Facts. I was
The
actually
old
gonna have,
heads are gonna hold it down in the meantime.
as we should. I was gonna actually have my boy Mondo.
Uh,
He's, I guess, new school. You know what I mean? New
right,
vibes.
right.
A team, but he's a producer slash artist. Really nice. He was gonna join
Let's
us.
get a guest for the next one. We'll get a guest on
Yeah.
and kick it. You know what I mean?
So him also is one of is my
Absolutely.
brother
I would
partner,
love that. I would love
and
that. Yeah.
also
But
Zoe, the
that's
artist.
three old heads. Okay, let's
Yeah,
balance it out
no,
with the new
facts.
young,
So Zoe wanted
mhm.
to join too. It's
and
just
that's
lining
and that's
up.
all family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the next generation.
it's just lining up things because you see how like we got cameras, we got fucking mics.
Mm.
They would need that same setup, so they want to
Yeah,
do that, and
and
they're
it's
just getting that together. So
absolutely, and it's a it's not even it's a cheap investment. These USB mics and whatever. And
yeah, yeah,
listen, once we're ready to do an in-house setup, it's going to be official tissue. So we don't want
facts.
to do no regular bootleg setup anymore. We're going to do some official shit like like that Andrew Schultz. They got the official fucking setup, like the Rogan setup. But anyway, we'll get there. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Rogan,
Oh my
let's just jump
God.
into the thick of things,
You want to
bro.
jump into the fire?
Why not, son? It's crazy. I feel like every podcast I turn on
Mm.
is talking about Rogan. Yo, there's other podcasts that they literally
Not
just
just
talk about
podcasts, but like the
Rogans.
mainstream news, like
Yeah,
I
but just
Twitter,
podcast level. Oh yeah, he's just
Twitter.
put everything on fire right now, man.
Yeah,
How do you feel about what's going on and his, I guess, apology that he gave and everything,
yeah.
because it
So
was like apology back to back. So that
Yeah.
on its own doesn't look too good. And I think he worded it as it was like a political hit, right?
Political hit job. So
Yeah.
so I've been rocking with Rogan's podcast since the early days. Like he was before all these other podcasts, all these other comedians and artists and stuff like that came out. He was kind of like, I'm not saying he was the very first podcaster. I know there was a few out there, but he was one of the very first that I started rocking with because I came from that, watching.
Do you know
UFC.
what year? Let's actually
I want to
shit.
say I started getting into MMA, like watching UFC fights around 2010. So that's a good 12 years ago. So around that time,
we need a Jamie. You know how Rogan has
we need
Jamie?
a young Jamie. Young Jamie pulled that up. So because I was really like, I became like overnight, I just became like a super UFC fan because
2009, December 24th, 2009.
So I don't know if I saw from the very first episode, but like the early ones, you know what I mean? So
where he had hair.
Yeah, when he had hair. I came from that jujitsu culture, martial arts. It's like a sub community. It's like its own culture, just like skateboarders, just like whatever, graffiti writers. It's like its own little subculture, like the jujitsu culture. You know what I mean? And so because of that, like I know that he was a commentator for them. So, and his podcasts were. He's a comedian, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't follow him during the whole Fear Factor shit. I was never into Fear Factor, but if you're a comedian, you roll with a bunch of comedians, so you're gonna say a lot of crazy shit. And I caught him dropping the M-bombs a couple of times, but now it's come to the point that it's bubbled into like this racial thing. So they did a compilation of him. And again, I'm not justifying that. I don't think he should have, especially with the hard R. You know what I mean? Like you could kind of get away with it. It's like, so there's this thing, like, is a misconception. Like we're from New York. You know what I mean? And I think, Tekashi, I'm not a fan of Tekashi, but he kind of said that in the interview because they were asking him like, why are you saying the N-word just like that? Like, just like it's like part of his vocabulary. But
honestly, it's been part of our
when you come from that, that's what I was gonna say. When you come from that, like that urban hip hop street
East
culture, New York, Brooklyn, uptown, it's like that word is just like it's kind of like a term of endearment. Like you say, instead of saying dude, you say, you know what I mean? You say the word. I'm not even gonna say it anymore because it's like,
it's weird. Like, you know what's funny? Even when I'm rhyming and like I go back and listen to like older material and it was all over there because everybody, that was like,
but there was no racial innuendo. There was no racial slur behind it because we come from a minority group, right? Quote unquote minority, Hispanics,
even
and
white
blacks.
People said it amongst each other in the hood. And it was perfectly fine,
but so now it's
I'm talking about before.
Now years later, though, so those days, so years later, now we got, everybody's sensitive now. You got the woke culture, like certain comedians, like Dave Chappelle, like he catches shit about saying stuff about trans people or the late gay and lesbian community. So you got to be really careful how you phrase certain things, and that's
Dave Chappelle he maneuvers through those waters amazingly. Like
he rolls with the punches. He
built his platform on saying,
bro, how many times he was dropping the N-word in the Chappelle show?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But if you're black, if you're black, cool. You can say that shit all you want. You that's your word to use. You know what I'm saying? Like with Latinos and other ethnic groups, we could kind of get away with it, but nowadays not even that. Like
that
it's
gets
more
super
sensitive.
Scrutinized too.
It gets super scrutinized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So him being a white dude dropping but he was saying it in context, like oh, this guy said this and he said it, and then instead of saying the N-word, he would just say the full word with the ER. And then somebody did, I think India Arie, did a compilation, and then Twitter just. That shit caught fire.
Do you think that she was motivated by other parties or other entities behind her?
I don't know. But I think that, I don't know if she was, but I know the reason why it took off, and we'll get to why there's been this, he's been a target. He's been a target because he said it. He said it recently. He's like, they need a boogeyman now that Trump isn't on the front page and spotlight because he's not president anymore. They need a boogeyman to attack to, like, you know, kind of get ratings, get clicks. You know, they need somebody. Mind you, everything nowadays is politicized, right? So you got the left wing, the Democrats, the liberals, right? And then you got the right wing, the conservatives, the Republicans that kind of fall under that Trump, you know, extreme, alt-right, racist. So they lumped them into that. You know what I'm saying? They lumped them into that because during this whole pandemic, he's had guests on that kind of question the mainstream narrative about COVID, about the vaccines. I mean, he's had doctors, he's had scientists, all different types of people that are experts in their profession. He's not claiming to be the expert, but he's having guests on to have that conversation.
That's what blows my mind, right? That it's not him that's conveying
he's
any of
kind of
that
like
message.
The scapegoat. He's the scapegoat for everything going on. So it's reached a boiling point, right? So it started like the campaign, the hit job, quote unquote, started because they were saying, oh, he's spreading misinformation, right? Because he's spreading misinformation because he's having people on that are questioning, you know, the vaccine,
mask,
this,
right?
the mask, the vaccines. And a lot of these doctors, what they were like, Robert Malone and Peter McCullough, those were the two main ones that everybody's like giving him shit for because
you know what's, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what's crazy is because, and I know we're kind of jumping back and forth, but they did happen to they took out a few of his episodes, like 70 to 100 episodes, but those 2 episodes in particular that sprung, those are still there.
That's questionable. That's questionable. So what happened was, like, I know we're jumping through the timeline and we're all over the place, but you know, since he's gained so many fans, he's gained so many viewers, he didn't know this podcast that he started 13 years ago from his crib, you know, from his living room. You know how
to do math, son.
You know, it started as like he said it a lot of times, like this shit started as a joke. Like he said, let's record something and see where it goes. And look at what it turned into, bro.
Yeah.
One of the big, and so I don't know if you saw like on Twitter or on social, somebody posted a graph of his viewership compared to the mainstream news. And they're like leaps below viewers, like CNN.
It's not even a comparison. And it's funny because all the other people on that graph were relatively close to each other, and his
blew him out the water. And so what is that? What is that? So to me, that tells me that the majority of people are quote unquote waking up to a rational way of thinking, not just controlled by what you see on the news. What CNN, Fox, and all these mainstream networks, they go through a particular narrative. When they all stick to the same story, pretty much, right?
The
same script, exactly.
Yeah.
So because his shit is coming on a different direction, he's getting lumped into this thing like, oh, he's spreading misinformation, this and this and that. People aren't getting vaccinated because of him. Like, come on, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the crazy he's not forcing you not to get. He's not. He's just. It's an open forum for discussion, right? Isn't that isn't that how it should be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. And I think that he does that with his guests too. There's plenty of times he's contested what they said and not challenged, but they had a conversation on it.
And there's times where the guest will check him
and they're fact checking
for getting something wrong.
I actually
and he'll admit to
saw that. Yeah, I just recently, there was something recently where he was fact checked by someone, even though the fact check was with the information that they brought up wasn't a real credible source.
Well, let's get into the fact checking thing, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish what you were going to say.
I was just going to say that even what is a credible source?
What is a credible source?
Google?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, on Google, when you search something, the things that pop up on the top are the people that paid for the optimum search engine optimization. Like they're the ones that paid to be on top of that. So it's like, does that mean that they're true? You know, Wikipedia, you can go in and edit Wikipedia. So it's like, whoa.
So the thing in question now is free speech, right? We're protected under the Constitution, the First Amendment. that we should obviously, you can't go off and say stupid shit. There's repercussions, like, him dropping the N-bomb. There's repercussions to free speech. However, you should still be allowed to discuss things in an open platform without it being censored.
Can we pause that? Can we pause that real quick? Because I had a question before that. You just reminded me but I didn't want to interrupt you. But about free speech and about comedians, because we're talking about, just comedians. Do you think, because before I remember like comedians just were able to say anything and it's just in humor and people didn't like,
everybody's sensitive now, bro. It's like society.
And even nowadays it's crazy because look, and I'm not targeting anyone. I'm just coming up with an example, but I feel like it's easier for minorities to, and not saying that they're deserving or not deserving of these kind of, racial jokes, but it's easier for us to make mad jokes about crackers or white people, and there's nothing. You don't see
it's a double standard,
right? Yeah. So I'm like, and even Spanish people, like it's so easy to do that. You hear a bunch of jokes about it, and Chinese people, Indians, I don't know, because I just found out today that that dude Apu is not even in
you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think Akash, he's Andrew Schultz's co-host in his podcast. Yeah. And he was just on Rogan, I think.
Yeah. That's why I found out.
Shit is coming through. I hope that shit doesn't interrupt it.
I didn't. Nah, it looks cool.
You didn't hear it?
Nah, but the shit that's crazy is that they took him off. I'm like, what?
That happened a couple years ago. I think that's the name of his special.
I didn't even know that.
He named the special.
Do you think that's okay? Do you think I
don't, because that's just it's a dangerous, it's a slippery slope, because once you start censoring shit like that, where does it end? Like, who dictates what you can say and what you can't say? As long as you're not racially insulting people or talking about their family, I don't know, but going overboard, right? You should know, you should have common sense to not push the limit, but you should be able to discuss things and make jokes. I mean, what's the fucking point of being a comedian then? If you know what I mean? Like, anyway, so
walk on thin ice. All right,
society's just turned into this like a bunch of, I don't know, man. So the whole thing with Rogan is that it's been politicized ever since Trump. Before Trump, who was really following politics like that? You know what I mean? Like, who was really into knowing what Democrats stand for, or Republicans, unless you're really into politics. But people really I feel like people really started getting into it and following it because Trump was just such a polarizing figure. You know what I mean?
I think Obama, when Obama came out, that's when you started seeing.
I voted for Obama.
I know, but I'm just saying you started seeing hip hop artists now supporting. And I feel like whenever there's a presidency, whenever there's a time for a new president, that's when you start seeing at least some kind of awareness. Go vote for years, right? Yeah. But like you just said, it was never popular.
It was never a thing. But yeah, so the reason why
during the pandemic, everybody's home.
back to Obama, the reason I said I voted for him was because I took pride in it. I was like, you know what? He is gonna make a change. But he didn't change nothing. He just kept the same shit. They had the nice guy, he talks well, but I'm like, he's playing ball, like he's doing the same shit every other guy did before him. And so, there's a puppeteer, and that comes from all these corporations, all these lobbyists. If they're giving the right amount of funds and donations to your campaign, then you're basically at their whim. And the same shit with this new guy. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking I call him Bram Stoker's Dracula. He looks like a fucking like a vampire now. Like
I think this episode is gonna be on some political shit, because you saw what just happened with his shit right now too. He just that new bill he passed that gave like $30 million. I mean, it's not. That's all they're saying now on the social media about the crack pipes. But I did a little research on that too, and there is some truth, or there is some sense to it, but I don't want to jump off of what we were talking about. We'll save that for a couple for later on. So go ahead.
I mean, back to this thing, it's just the whole Rogan thing. It's gonna die out, and it's just this woke mob, bro. Like, you see me posting about it.
One thing that you said it's dying out. I think that
it's at its boiling point now, and people are. And what is the coincidence that all this racial stuff is happening during Black History Month? Like it's like they orchestrated this. They didn't orchestrate it because he did what he did. He said what he said, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he didn't, but it's like the timing of this shit is perfectly planned for it. You know what I mean? So they couldn't take him out with the whole misinformation shit, and so now they're gonna hit him with the racial angle. You know what I mean? And if this shit misses, they're gonna hit him with the
score two for the people, because the cancel culture.
It's the worst, bro.
Once you're in the crosshairs.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll say right now, like, I regret ever voting Democrat, bro. And I'm not saying the Republicans are any better, but Democrat, like the left wing has gotten out of control, bro. Out of control.
So you got Chappelle,
this cancel culture,
who beat the cancel culture, and you got Rogan, who trumped the cancel culture, no pun intended. And because these are genuine people, when you have, and I think genuine, or modest, or love, or whatever you want to term it, coin it as, but that's always going to win, because look, they had to go and dig up a bunch of stuff that, although it was inappropriate and offensive, it wasn't like detrimental where that's it, it's a wrap for him. Because if you see, a lot of people are standing up for Rogan, and a lot of minorities,
a lot of comedian friends, a lot of Black friends. You know what I mean?
And he didn't. He
could have been like, "Hey guys, I have a lot of Black friends."
That's what I was just gonna say.
He has a stepdaughter who's I believe she's biracial, if I'm not mistaken. So the guy ain't racist. He said dumb shit.
Jamie, fact check that, please.
Jamie, pull that up. Is his daughter biracial? but like, so anyway, I it's not like I'm like, leave Rogan alone. He's perfect. No, he's not perfect. But I come from that martial arts culture, and the guy, a lot of his shit now is been politicized, but a lot of times you'll have a comedian on, or just a MMA fighter. So I've been listening to him way before all this controversy, bro. People are jumping on the bandwagon now just to attack him, but they don't know. I guarantee you 99% of these people haven't listened to one episode.
So how do you feel about all the artists now? Not all, there's not many, thank God, but you never know, you're gonna have a few more coming out of the woodworks, but now they're like Neil Young, and they're all just, now they're removing their stuff off of Spotify because of that.
I mean, did you hear? There's a lot of reports out there that, so that was kind of like he did it for the clout. So Neil Young went and said, he jumped on the road and he was like, you know what? Unless Spotify releases Joe Rogan, I'm gonna pull my whole catalog out of Spotify. So Spotify was getting the heat, and then other artists followed through. But the thing with Neil Young, and I don't want to say the wrong companies, but he sold his catalog to
a company
to a company
owned by Pfizer.
I didn't hear the Pfizer part, but also Amazon. So now,
now
Amazon,
you follow that paper trail.
Boom,
boom, boom, boom.
So exactly,
it's owned by.
It wasn't like
Pfizer, bro.
It wasn't like he was on
crazy?
like it wasn't like Neil Young was on his moral high ground because Joe Rogan was spreading misinformation. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You did it for the paper. Stop playing.
Yeah, he received the check, bro. A lot of these higher ups
for his whole catalog.
And that's what I was saying about
and let me tell you, people in our generation, we're old school. I don't have Neil, like, I don't give a fuck if he pulled his catalog. Like, oh my God, Neil Young, like all these old ass artists, all respect, you know what I mean? But, we're not going to miss you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm canceling my Spotify account because Joe Rogan is racist.
What's crazy is that, right? So supposedly one of the misinformation was about the mask. But meanwhile, tomorrow, did you hear about that? Tomorrow, February 9th.
I'm getting mixed.
No, February 10th.
Yeah, I'm getting mixed things. I'm getting,
this is the thing, right?
There's a lot of loopholes to that.
There is, but it's more of an independent choice now. So companies, that's it. You don't have to wear masks, and you don't have to show proof of vaccination at the restaurant. Shout out to Westwood, come by Brooklyn, Foster. But
mask optional.
mask is optional. We're not gonna, card them at the door anymore, bro. And that's
Yeah.
a beautiful
No,
thing.
that's
I think,
awesome. Yeah, for businesses. But I want to know what the deal is as New Yorkers, because we got hit with that fucking stupid ass mandate. We got hit with that. So private businesses. So what happens with people that work in the office in the city? I haven't heard, you know what I mean? Like I haven't heard any word about them lifting that.
It's
You know what
funny
I'm saying?
because all of these talks, they were projecting this further late down in the year, like later in the year,
Mhm.
like towards the summer. But and again, this is me assuming, right? But
Mm.
because of the truckers making so much noise in Canada and how much it affected their economy and their system. And now there were talks of the US truckers also protesting and
Yeah.
boycotting and striking. That I heard that's what made these wheels turn a lot quicker, But the point was that you're talking
saw
all of this
you,
about Joe Rogan and the mask misinformation. But meanwhile,
yeah.
tomorrow, that's
People
it.
are
Like
people are
it's
focusing on they're getting people are focusing on the wrong issues.
yeah.
You're
So I
focusing
just don't
on a
understand that.
comedian with a podcast that has interesting guests on, as opposed to, what the current administration is doing behind the scenes.
And this is the thing, right?
What
The whole thing
what the
is,
mainstream news is telling you to listen to and take their word for it after
this is the
they've
thing,
been
right?
exposed for lying about shit and changing shit up over and over and over.
Everybody
saying?
that's siding on that side of the line, right? What do they say? They fall back to that term, trust the science, right? Oh, you got to trust the science.
Yeah.
So
I
look,
am the science.
I'm
That's what he
not,
says.
yeah, I'm not against science, bro. Science
Yeah.
is the study of life, bro. Like, of course I'm for science. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's spirituality in science as well. It's all about how you kind of discern it on your own, and it becomes more subjective. But the fact that that damn, I just had a brain fart.
It's all
But
good.
the fact that they're saying trust the science, and the science has changed so much.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we can pull up a bunch of clips where they're, don't wear mask, that it's not gonna do it, wear a mask. And like, bro.
At first they said, so here's the
don't.
thing, right? The whole anti-vax, if you don't want to get the shot, you're an anti-vaxxer, right?
Yeah.
So
No, but what I wanted to say is that, okay, trust the science, right? Trust what you're trusting is something that's ever changing. It's not standing
right, because there's data, there's
foundation.
Data. Exactly. There's new data coming out, because that's what, so again.
So when you have somebody that questions it,
right,
it automatically they are put against, they're referred to as, oh, they're against the science. No,
or they're spreading misinformation.
Instead of me just waiting for you to change this and change that, how about if, hey, I have just an educational thought,
or have a second opinion, or have a second.
This is the crazy shit, right? Like,
so I want to say was, before this COVID shit happened, right? Did you hear the term anti-vaxxer getting thrown around like that? I didn't. I never got called an anti-vaxxer for not getting a flu shot. Yeah. So, but now it's like you're shamed and ridiculed. Yeah. Does it help? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it helps getting it, but I shouldn't have to be forced to it just to keep my job.
Yeah. And then
that's why people are having all these protests and rallies all around the world. Do you see that shit on the news?
Yeah, I see. You don't see it on the news. It's
Nothing,
crazy.
not a
you didn't see in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah.
I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, bro, it was like hundreds of thousands of people there.
Paris, Paris, Germany, all these different countries, not just here. Oh, they're not anti-vax, bro. They don't want the government telling them, listen, you got to get this shit.
Yeah. Because, and again, I don't want to go on record as an anti-vaxxer either, because like
we're not. Just said,
I know that it's effective.
I just had a kid.
That is subjective, because I know people that have gotten it and the shit was nothing. It was like a walk in the park for them, and they didn't have and they weren't vaccinated.
Yeah.
Then I seen the opposite, so it all depends. So it should be a personal choice. The same way how
it should have always been a personal choice.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that.
So like I'm saying, like I was hesitant, right? that doesn't make me an anti-vaxxer. I got all my shots as a kid. My son is getting his shots. So because I'm skeptical about this new technology, you shouldn't have to label me. Anyway, but whatever. So my point is,
and I wouldn't even say skeptical because you're concerned. It's not even skeptical. Because skeptical is almost like you don't believe it. You're just concerned.
I would like a few years to pass so there could be research and data behind what are the after effects, what are the side, like there should be enough time for you to make an informed decision. But people aren't given the time. They're just getting forced. Hey, get this or else you lose your fucking livelihood.
This is the thing, right? This is the crazy shit. So Johnson & Johnson, right? You know, they're not even in production for the
booster
for the vaccine anymore. They stopped that, bro.
Oh,
You can't. For the Johnson & Johnson. So so hold up. What? It was one of the options.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah, so now it's not an option anymore, and it's not an option because there were issues, and you still like will label me as some terrorist if I'm questioning the science. Like
it's a slippery slope, bro. And so a lot of people,
I don't understand this, man.
They're questioning, having to use these vaccine passports just to get around, just go to the store, just to buy groceries, just to go to the mall. Like, come on with that bullshit.
All right, bro. Before everybody who doesn't want to hear this shit logs off, let's get to some happy shit, bro. Because
we brought up the Rogan thing, and we got. But listen, we're not about this. But we had to address this thing because the thing with Rogan, it is kind of like a hit job. They timed it perfectly. Obviously he said some stupid shit, but the guy shouldn't be crucified. He shouldn't lose his, guess what? He's not going to lose his platform. All his followers, they're going to follow him wherever he goes. Wherever he goes.
And it's funny you said right now, crucify, right? Because I was going to say the term. These are like, and it's a little far-fetched, but these are our modern day prophets, bro. Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, all these people that are standing up for something, for the people. They have no idea how many people
they're standing up
behind them
for free speech.
For free speech, man.
Yeah,
so if they do take them off, or if they do try to censor them, they're just gonna make a martyr, bro. They're gonna create. He's gonna go off and
he's gonna triple his fan base.
Exactly, and then now I wouldn't
even lump him. I wouldn't lump him in. That's the problem. People lumped him in with Alex Jones, and they think he's a conspiracy.
But if you notice, Alex Jones, he did go on to create his website, and then he still has.
He's always had
a
his
big following.
I know.
But the point is that he can go away. He doesn't technically need. He didn't need Spotify went to him because they saw. Him. So, but now wasn't there a company that just recently
Rumble
offered him Rumble, right?
Me either. But it could be like a thing just to get attention, But what if he said, "All right, cool, I'll go with y'all. Just put your money where your mouth is," But who knows what's gonna happen, man? But
25 mil a year.
Yep. I can't say no to that.
Thank you, Rogan, for standing up, man. And there's a lot of heat on you, but and I like.
He'll be good, bro. He'll go into his fucking isolation tank and do some shrooms and do some ayahuasca. He'll be fine. I don't think he's gonna let this shit fold him, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of things happening, man. Right now, we're living in what a time, bro, to be alive.
It's a crazy time to be alive, but we've made it through all these different eras, bro. That's the crazy shit, right?
Yeah, man. It is.
We're in the digital. We're in the digital era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. We're in the Elon Musk Neuralink about to be fucking.
You're gonna have the cybernetic fucking link. So anyway, so you know what? Fuck the political shit. We just needed to get that little discussion out of the way.
I just finished seeing an episode, the season finale of Boba Fett, bro.
You mean Mandalorian season 2.5?
Yeah, right. He came in at he just took over.
He's like, sit down, son. I got this.
And then not even, and then fucking Grogu said, both of y'all sit down. I got this.
I said, I think I wrote in a comment. I was like, Grogu's must be sore from carrying the Star Wars franchise on his back.
Yo, seriously, that was So I guess, yo, quick heads up, there's gonna be a bunch of spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert. But
how ill was that? I just saw it again with wifey. That shit was crazy.
What was
bro.
ill was, the whole conversation that Luke Skywalker had with Grogu last episode when he gave him the choice, right? And it
that
just
that shit was Shogun Assassin.
Was deep. It was super deep because you saw the difference, right? In the way of the Mandalorians and in the way of the Jedi. So the way of the Jedi is no attachment, right? No attachment to anything, right? And the Mandalorians is loyalty and a form of attachment, more, I guess, in terms of endearment or in loyalty, but it's two kind of they kind of stand for two different things, but they both could be noble. They both could be noble. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. It's a code that the name of that episode was for the something, shit. Let me get it. What was the name of that? Something about honor. It was a sick name. It was a sick name. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up now. But
just that whole choice.
What did you think he was
heavy?
What did you think he was gonna choose? To be honest, you thought he was gonna choose the lightsaber?
I thought he was gonna choose the lightsaber, but somehow, some way, they go help out Mandalorian anyway. Nah. I thought that was gonna mix them together because it's awesome to see Luke Skywalker, because I feel like Luke Skywalker really didn't get his burn in Star Wars. Yeah, he got 1 or 2 movies, but then after that, like they just kind of forgot about him.
They had to fix him. So
yeah, he was like the one. Remember, bro, when he came out, his first few.
So here's the thing, right? When Disney launched Disney Plus, they said, all right, cool. Now we have this platform that we could do our own shit and not just have to put these movies out, so we could do our own shows. And so they went in. I mean, a lot of people weren't happy with those movies. The Last Jedi, what's the last one? The Rise of Skywalker. People weren't crazy about the sequels.
And then you bring him back and then you kill him. That same movie, like what the fuck?
Yeah. So
like
they
let
say,
him burn. Let him like show how ill because he was supposed to be the savior. Like, and then that you didn't really get to see how amazing he was. So it's good to see him back, and even in his youth, you know what I mean? Like he's still, which is crazy because he looks exactly like, bro.
That's that DH. So you know the story behind that real quick?
No.
So the Mandalorian finale, the one where Luke comes in and saves them against those stormtroopers or what? I think they're called shadow troopers, death troopers.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So then when they showed his face, people were like, the CGI wasn't that good. So there's this VFX artist on social media. I forgot his name. He did a deep fake and he did his version compared to the one that Disney Plus. And people were like, yo, hire this guy. They hired him. They're like some random VFX artist that like, he just said, let me show you guys what I could do. They hired that guy and you could see how it better the effects
amazing
look on Luke.
Yes, he looked, bro. I was shocked, very shocked.
So back to the choice, right?
What do you think he was going to choose?
So I mean, it's after the fact I already know what he chose, but I had a feeling because I'm like, Grogu is a foundling, right? So the story of the Mandalorian was he was a foundling. They saved him. Mandalorian saved him and brought him into their sect, but he wasn't a Mandalorian. He wasn't born into that. He was a foundling, right? The Mando.
Yeah.
Same thing with Grogu. He was a foundling. So I think he's going to end up being a Mandalorian. I think he's going to.
So there's foundlings that
they're not born into. There's so his So what's his name? Din Djarin. That's the Mandalorian's name. So you remember in his first couple of seasons, they showed the flashbacks of him getting saved, and there was like a droid about to kill him, and this Mandalorian pulled him out and saved him when he was a little kid. But he wasn't a Mandalorian. He was a regular kid.
Yeah, he was a regular kid. Yeah,
they brought him in and raised him as a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So that's why the same shit with Grogu. You know what I mean? So I had a feeling like he's gonna pick the armor and go back to,
which is a little crazy too now, because if you saw in the last episode when that Mandalorian chick, Forgot
Oh
her
yeah,
name.
I forgot her name too.
When she was like, "Yo, you took your mask off," and he's like, "Yeah." So she said, "You are not a
Yeah,
Mandalorian
she kicked him
anymore."
out. Okay, so
So then he has to.
I'm into like I've seen the animated series Clone Wars, and then there's another
Yeah,
one called Rebels, right? And
that's the
so
new one, right? I haven't
no,
seen
that
Rebels.
no, all of that came out already. It's not
There's
brand new.
something new that just came out right now, right? The
It's like
bad
a samurai. It's like a Japanese anime one.
something else. The
Really?
bad, the
Oh, the
bad
Bad
bunch,
Batch. The Bad
bad
Batch.
batch. Yeah,
All that shit connects, bro. You got to check out Clone Wars.
yeah,
That's how introduced Ahsoka. All these different characters come from the animated series. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, so I think the third season they're gonna go back to Mandalore now that he has the dark saber, because it says whoever wields the dark saber gets to
is
be the
the
true ruler of Mandalore. So I think
yeah.
there's gonna be like a big civil war to see who gets to control their planet.
Maybe between that chick and him.
So there was a
Well,
character in Rebels called Sabine Wren, who's also like
a
related to the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian too. Yeah. So they might bring her live character. I think that third season is gonna be bananas, bro. It's gonna be epic. So I think that's
Yeah,
why they had to like squeeze it into this Boba Fett story to show what's the next step. So Grogu's back in the mix, right? He's back in the mix. And they're gonna see where their journey takes him. But I think he's gonna be a key player. Like he's gonna be a Mandalorian. That's what I
yeah.
think.
Well, it would have been dope. Did they? I don't know if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he said that there was a Mandalorian who was also a Jedi.
Oh yeah, that
He did
was the
say that.
he's the guy
She, oh
that
no, did he say that or did she
something.
say that?
She said that he was the one that created the dark saber.
Yeah.
I forgot Vizsla, something pre-Vizsla, something like that.
So he was a Jedi too.
Yeah, I think he was a bit of both. So he's the one that created that dark saber.
I would
And
like
then
to see that. Imagine Mandalorian
they might show like flashbacks, you know what I mean? But
or maybe Luke Skywalker joins them, or
who knows? Now with all
knows?
these special effects, they could do a lot with Luke, but they saved it. So John Favreau and Dave Filoni. So Dave Filoni is the guy behind the animated series. And so he's the guy behind this man. That's why it's like it makes that Star Wars, it kind of like gave it a second chance because people weren't happy with those movies, bro.
Yeah, you know what's funny? A lot of people, when you talk about sci-fi, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm not into Star Wars like that." And it's crazy because they had a cult following before, Now, like, you still got Star Trekkers, you know what I mean? Star Trek, you still got.
I don't follow Star Trek for shit. You could talk to me about Star Trek. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I saw a lot of the movies, and I guess the old generation before us, that old school new vibes, they are more in tune with the Trekkers. You know what I mean?
Old school.
Generation or the baby boomers, I think is what they called, right?
The boomers.
They're the boomers. They're the ones that are more in tune with the Trekkers. It's dope, man. Like all the movies I've seen from Star Trek, they're pretty dope. But yeah, I mean, that sci-fi anime is my shit. Shout out to Dragon Ball Z. They got a movie coming out. A new one is gonna be crazy.
So who's gonna be in it? Like, cause remember they did that Dragon Ball Z movie, and that shit was like trash. So are they gonna do it justice?
The live action.
The live action.
Animation still.
Oh, okay.
They to do it justice, man. You need Lucasfilms.
You need a super budget
and that kind of technology, because the powers that they possess, bro, is on another level, man.
Reminded me,
they're godly levels.
I know, like, I was it last year? I saw the Matrix trilogy again, and that last fight. Remember that last fight Neo has with Agent Smith? That was kind of like
and all that shit.
That was kind of like Dragon Ball Z, right?
That's a good comparison.
Like some Superman shit.
Being that you brought up fucking Matrix, bro. Did you see the Matrix, the latest one?
I know.
How do you feel about it, bro?
I was okay.
That shit was disgusting.
I didn't hate it.
I fell asleep. I thought it was a joke.
I didn't hate it.
I can't believe that was
the story was dumb, but I don't know. I guess it had some scenes that carried it. It had some
They
good
had
action
some.
scenes.
I love Neo. Like just I love who they
He
are.
he yo,
I
he didn't
love the
shoot
powers they
one gun. I
possess.
think they say he didn't shoot like
Yeah,
one gun
yeah,
during the whole movie.
and it kind of showed that he's not the one. Anyone could be the one, or
Mm.
we all are the one, if anything. Which I love the
That's deep,
when you
dog.
break it down. Yeah, like somebody even broke it down that was even a little bit more deep too, because right, they said that they hated the film, but the whole message of what the film, the result of the film. Okay, so let me find the words. All right, the guy was saying how up until this last film, the same thing with Matrix. They had a cult following, almost like a religion, like people. Oh yeah, the fake world, and it made everybody hone in on the Matrix and focus on living in the Matrix, being in the Matrix, right? So you're talking about this quote unquote woke and awakening, but all we were kind of focusing on was the Matrix, not the real world. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of this movie now, he's like, I don't give a fuck about the Matrix anymore. Like it's not even a staple in his mind anymore.
To me, that movie was about him waking Trinity up.
Yeah. So now he's like, I'm not even thinking about the Matrix anymore, which in turn is not making him focus on the artificial world now and helping him focus more on the real world. There's a little bit more details to that, but it made a lot of sense. And it's true. Like I used to hold that movie dear to heart now. And now because of this last movie, it kind of
ruined it.
I don't hold it. Yeah, I don't hold it as dear to my heart as before, bro.
Listen, it was a money grab, man. I think based off of his success with John Wick, that's why they made him look exactly like John Wick.
Yeah.
With the long hair and the beard and all that shit. I think they just said, fuck it, let's try to do another one and see what happens. You know what I mean? But
well, now they talk about even doing another one, another Matrix after this.
They might,
because now there's a new world, a new woke
it's
world.
It's like a rebooted. Yeah.
I just couldn't believe that it was so deep and it was so serious. And then to have this movie,
it's like they made a joke
to have
out
it like
of it.
Exactly.
Like it was a video game. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're watching too much games. I get the principles behind it and the thought process behind it, but how they articulated that on film, it was not good. And it almost reminded me of when they destroyed the classic Nightmare on Elm Street. Remember the same shit? It was a book. Remember? Or what was it, a book or was it a movie? Remember the last one where they did the same thing?
I asked wifey because she keeps up. She loves those fucking.
So in that last movie, right? It was the same thing, and it was like decades after the last Nightmare on Elm Street. But the same thing, Freddy. There was the actual actor. They had the actor in there, and it was like, oh, it was I don't remember it was a movie or it was a book, but they made it a joke again too. And then at the end, he ended up being, and it just sucked.
Yeah. I know you're saying.
It sucked, and it was like the same exact thing. Like
they took the miss.
It's almost like cheap writing, bro.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So
it's called money grab.
Yeah, the origin. Well, how do you refer to her? The person who actually created the Matrix idea, the concept of it, because it was actually this lady. I forgot her name.
They took her idea.
Well, they bought it off of her, right?
Okay.
Because she
did. So she got paid.
But yeah, but then they took a lot more. She was supposed to be more involved, and then they kind of pushed her away. But she, in her book that she had, it was the Matrix and Terminator. It was all like one story.
Oh shit!
And they split it up into two stories.
That would have been sick.
And Terminator, because if you think about it, there's a lot of similarities with the machines and everything. So
that would have been sick. They should do that.
She was creating a Matrix 4, right? The same thing that right now that they were doing. I thought she was actually in the beginning, if I'm not mistaken, Jamie, check that. But she was supposed to be part of the Wachowski brothers or whatever.
They're sisters now.
Sisters. That's another episode.
You about to get canceled, bro.
So she was supposed to be down with that. And you know what was her storyline? which it was a little weird, but it would have made way more sense to this. She, in her story, in her script, it was this all was a dream. Neo chose the blue one, chose the blue pill, not the red pill. And he went back home, he took the blue pill and had to sleep and dreamt all of this. And then now it's gonna be the true awakening of
that would have been whack though. Imagine the whole Matrix trilogy was a dream. That would have fucked it up.
Better than it being a fucking movie, because then you're still in that reality. You're still in that realness and that seriousness about it.
I hate. I'm sorry. I hate.
It wasn't a fucking game.
Like, I hate when you see like something
both
so
ways
powerful,
is cheap writing,
and then at the end it was a dream all along. I hate when they do that.
Lazy writing on both counts, but I would prefer that
over this shit,
bro. Over this shit being a game.
I mean, I saw it once. I said, let me see. I would listen. At the end of the day,
this kind of introduced the metaverse or the meta.
I was entertained. Whatever. Yeah, that's where we're headed, man. So start buying your metaverse property. You know,
bro, what did I hear? That somebody,
it's gonna be Ready Player One.
That they so there was this millionaire who bought a yacht. Yo, he bought a yacht in the metaverse world for $2.2 million.
You see?
I was like, what? There are people who are buying real estate right now in Meta.
I know.
And they're waiting. There's going to be jobs in the Meta.
Yeah.
Like you can actually log on and you can work as a store clerk or whatever, a store business owner.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, right? Like,
I mean, we're putting ourselves in the matrix. The machines don't have to force us into it. We're doing it ourselves. Funny?
I was talking about this with Logan, right? Actually, I was like, imagine we are the ones who voluntarily go into these pods, bro. Because technically, what am I? I'm not in a pod right now, but I'm in a little cubicle right now that's hardwired into this digital world where you and I are talking. Who's to say 10 years from now, this little cubicle I'm in right now becomes a little bit more livable. Now it has fucking hooked up to where I can take a shit here and take a piss here, and I could get intravenously fed, and I don't even gotta leave.
Nothing.
I don't even gotta leave. I could just stay here the whole time. You know, I'm already working from home. Like, bro,
it's crazy. I don't want to live in a world like that. I want to go out to nature.
You know I agree. I agree, bro.
Go out to nature, but that's us for being old timers.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate life.
So, you know, they say that you have to be like the tree, right? Because the tree is grounded, cemented, but it's flexible with the wind and moves with the wind and with the weather. Because if it was too hard, it'll break, right? So I try to have that same mentality with age and, you know, what's going on. And when I speak to a lot of the new era, they can't wait to set up this Neuralink from Elon Musk. And they're saying how it'll help you extend your life. And
it's going to be expensive, though. It's not going to be some microchip. You know what I mean? It's going to be like a cybernetic. You got to have a surgery to get that shit put in.
Yeah.
And it's going to be for like people with money, I think, at first.
But what I'm saying, I do get it. Before my immediate response was, fuck out of here. That's, you know, chip.
The young generation is looking for
But this new generation, then they don't have that same foundation that we had growing up. They didn't have the fucking Behold the Pale Horseman book. They didn't have the 666 Illuminati, all these things where this is going on. And they're in this new era where they're born into this technology. So it's part of their nature. This is literally a digital nature, second nature to them. So
it's cool.
Yeah, so this is normal for them. So what? I don't got to carry my phone. I could just have that shit in my head, and then my eyes are like, oh shit, I won't lose my phone anymore. You know what I mean? Like the answers that they'll give you will be so practical that
you know what pisses me off when people are like, you know what? Why do you care about having a microchip put in you, right? When your phone is a chip and they could track you and this and this and that. I'm like, guess what? I could fucking leave my phone at home, bro. That shit ain't inside my skin. You know what I'm saying? So there's a limit. But yeah, obviously, everywhere you go, this shit is listening. It's, you know, they could track you through GPS, but I could turn this shit off and leave it at home.
Yeah.
You can't do that with a fucking implant in your body. Get the fuck out of here, bro. So
yeah,
that's where I draw the line.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be some lines drawn, but who's to say, man? I just take it day by day, man. Literally.
Well, it's about being in tune with all of this and with your spiritual side, right? I mean, let's not
And
get
just
deep on them. We're gonna get deep on them, but
we got deep. Pause.
we
Anyway,
we got
no, the
deep.
spirituality. I'm all for
Yeah.
that, bro. I'm all for the awareness of spirituality,
Yeah.
more so than religion. And I think in this day and age, it's a little sad that people don't even think about God anymore like that anymore. You have there's a community out there that does support, and I don't want to say religion because it's
Don't
more
get
than
it
that,
twisted. When I say
spirituality is not religion,
not religion.
So so that's where it's at right now. That a lot of people aren't dependent on God anymore because they have Google. They have any question, or they're not gonna pray and have faith that they're gonna get better, or that this result is gonna happen. No, they're gonna go to Google and like Google them shit to death. You know what I mean? So or YouTube University, whatever, either one. These are their digital gods, and
digital gods. That sounds like a song.
That is a song. You're right. Hold on.
Write that shit down, but they're gonna hear that shit and take it.
No.
Digital gods. That shit is dope.
But that's that's why I'm still practicing as much holisticness as possible, man.
That shamanic breathing is no joke.
Oh, son, we got to talk about that. How do you feel that? So,
for
everyone out there,
do you want to save that for the next one? We'll get into that.
We can.
Grades on it. We'll build up to it. But the experience was amazing, man.
Amazing. And
that's
what we're doing. We're journeying more in ourselves and peeling back all these layers that of trauma, of just misinformation, because
real misinformation, not the shit that people get accused of.
Seriously, man, even how we were raised, how looking at how our parents raised us, and how even though a lot of the stuff they did,
traumatic experiences.
It was traumatic. It was definitely not the right decision, and of course our parents did it out of love, and this is how they were raised, but it doesn't make it right, so it's like we're literally breaking a lot of generational curses, bro. A lot of generational trauma that we're gonna see it in our kids. I do see it in our kids already. I see it in my son. I see it in Logan. Logan is at my level. You know what I mean? And he's
I mean, he's a grown-ass man, so he could be a generation ahead, next generation, but he's old enough to know, know what's up.
And even Xavier is gonna be 8 years old, but he's definitely way ahead of his time too. And that's what we have to do. We have to plant all the seeds of all the principles and values from our era, and that even our parents, although they may have had made a lot of errors in our upbringing, but it was out of love, and they do have a lot of values and a lot of principles. So we still have to plant those seeds into our kids, strip all the bad from the good. It's crazy, because in the Bible there's a parable, right, that said, when the fruit grows, with the fruit there's also weeds that grow on the side of it. So the fruit is what you want, but there's weeds out there too that you have to like cut the weeds to get to the fruit.
You gotta hire a landscaper to, you know what I mean? To landscape that shit.
Spiritual landscape. Yo, you're giving bars
digital
right
gods,
now,
spiritual landscapers, bro. We getting the names of the album right now.
Yo, the album is coming out soon. Speaking of music, bro.
Nah, not yet.
What are you listening to?
You still gotta work. What am I listening?
Have you heard? Did you hear the new Nas? Oh, we spoke about that, right?
We spoke about the Nas, yeah.
That was.
We'll save the music for the next one, because let's save the goodies.
Well, Kanye's coming out with a new album too, Donda.
Yeah. So I just want to say, guys, like, we're not gonna talk about politics and crazy shit like that all the time, but we had to touch on this, Joe Rogan, because it's a hot topic right now. And
it really is, man. It really is.
You gotta give props to like the originators of this podcast shit. You know what I mean? There wouldn't be us without guys like that setting the trend. And so, I'm not giving into that cancel culture bullshit.
And if you're gonna give props to, originators, you got to give props to like even Joe Budden, right? Joe Budden was one of the first hip hop artists who was creating these podcasts, because he started off with this, just him filming him and his Tahiri. Remember, he was with his ex, and filming a lot of that shit, and it just build off to something different. And even shout out, rest in peace to Yashar. Remember Yashar?
Of course.
He was on it hard too, bro. He was one of the first ones that was like, yo, you need to put this on YouTube, or you need to do this, or yo, we need to get this. But
he was ahead of his time.
Super ahead of his time, man. Shout out to that brother, man.
So yeah, man. So
there's some dope music out right now too. I know there's, you got the mixture right now. You got still that pocket of people that are like RJ Payne, bro. RJ Payne's a beast. He's a beast. He's from the 90s era too. I think he got locked up and he came out.
This is your world. You got to put me on.
Yeah, bro. He got a few joints called Beautiful Pain, like albums, fire. He's like literally one of the represents that 90 era of music or hip hop. And today's still the same kind of beats, But there's also like Corday, who's also a youngin who kind of has that 90s flair or flow or flavor.
Where is it? What city?
I forgot exactly his story.
East Coast.
I think. Let me actually look it up. But he's nice. Yo, download his album. It's nice. It was real dope. And he's a young cat, really young. But he has a bunch of people on.
Yeah, I haven't really been checking for new artists like that. Not on purpose. I just like I get into like a music bubble. Like I stick with my old school artists that I'm familiar with. And that's just me though. You know what I mean? I'm open to listen to new artists, but I'm not out there looking for them. You know what I mean? Like unless you put me on, I'm not really
North Carolina.
Okay.
Yes. So he's from North Carolina, but he's nice, man. He just dropped the album right now too. That's kind of dope. Pusha T dropped a new song, that Diet Coke. Have you heard that yet? He got a new album coming out too, so that should be dope. Pusha T his last album was fucking sick. Who else, bro?
Is he still part of Good Music, Kanye's label, or no? Wasn't he Pusha T? Wasn't he down with?
He is. He's actually the only artist still on Good Music. Really? Big Sean. Big Sean. Did you hear that? So Drink Champ, shout out to Nori. Nori's a beast too with the podcast too. But he had Kanye on first, right? I think he's a little. I mean, Kanye is always gonna be beyond popular, but I think he kind of made him cool again. Nori, like he had him on the podcast, and that conversation he had, and he was able to really speak his mind. And I think the people got to really see Kanye in rare form, and it brought his popularity back up, hip hop wise too, bro. A lot of artists started supporting him back again. But in that interview, he said something about Big Sean. He said something about regrets, and he's like, "Oh, bro, on my tombstone is gonna say, why did I sign whack ass Big Sean?" Some shit like that. And then he's like, What the fuck? And he's like, "Oh, because when he came out and he was running for presidency, that he said that Big Sean didn't support him, and Big Sean was actually swayed by the Democrats to support them, and he really took that to heart or whatever." But I think they mended that, but anyway, he got off of Good Music, and Kid Cudi's off of Good Music. I think again, the only person that's on Good Music is Pusha T. Yeah, and Pusha T is a beast, bro. So I'm definitely looking forward to that album. Eminem just dropped something that's kind of fire with Dr. Dre. Yo, Dr. Dre was spitting, son.
Oh, check it. Speaking of that, yeah, I think I heard it. But
gospel or some shit.
They're doing the halftime show.
Yeah,
Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Snoop.
That's gonna be crazy.
I'm definitely. I can't wait for that halftime.
Breaking news.
I don't even know who's going to the Super Bowl. Who the fuck's going to the Super Bowl? I don't even. I'm so tuned out.
49ers. But yo,
49ers.
Before I forget, bro. Snoop Doggy Dogg just fucking.
He bought Death Row Records.
Death Row Records, bro.
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy.
Crazy.
That's
the
so
label
dope,
that
man.
put him on. That fro
put
is a
him on.
level that pays, man.
Yeah.
And now he owns that shit.
Yeah, bro. That's. I mean, I like hearing stories like that, man. You know, so you go
Hell
back
yeah.
like full
I mean,
circle, come back around.
Yeah, Snoop is an icon. You know what I mean? He's an icon of the culture
Yeah.
of hip hop as a whole. But yeah, man. So
Super Bowl, yeah, they're performing. No, it's the Bengals and the Rams that are
okay.
the 49. My boy wanted the 49ers to win. They were the last in the playoffs.
I
But
think Psalms, shout out to Psalms. I think he's a big 49ers fan.
yeah, I remember that. Jerry Rice, hardcore. I haven't spoken to Psalms in a minute too. Shout out, hit me up, dogs. Pretty much shout out to shout out to Loom. I was in the lab with Loom. We got some fucking dope shit. Got
Yeah,
some dope shit
you've
with
been
Dax.
sending me some of his bangers. He got some bangers.
Yeah, with him. Shout out to Cortez. We just did a track too. High Stakes. High Stakes got some music coming out that I've been a part of too. So we're sitting on a lot of music right now, man. It's dope. So that definitely helps keep the creative process going, creative juices, and
absolutely.
So pretty much that I'm doing right now, man. Like just staying busy, staying creative, living life. Adapting to everything. I'm definitely looking like good things are on the horizon right now with everything with life, man. I think things are definitely turning its tide, and it's time to usher in this new wave of
this new
love,
world order.
Well,
this new world order of love and positivity.
Yeah, I think
you got to flip it instead of something bad. You say, you know what I mean? It's something good.
Yeah, because they make it sound crazy, but in reality, like it is what you make it out to be. It's all your everything is perception, man. How you perceive it. You can see this as half full. I see it as half empty, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So the way I see it is like everything is parallel and going to the same destination. Why not choose the higher vibration? Why not choose to be walk in enlightenment? Why not choose to be happy? If everything's a choice and if we all head into the same place, why not create the better experience for yourself?
Absolutely. I agree, man.
So
it's all part of being human. I just seen the next episode of Euphoria. That shit, Zendaya is amazing, bro. Like her acting skills is next level.
Can we talk about that for a second? Euphoria
you seen it?
Fucking crazy. It's like kids.
Did you see the latest episode?
Where
I was watching it like this. I was like,
it's crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it hit home a little, man. It hit home a lot.
Oh man.
Without getting into craziness, but it, my upbringing and family and all that, it definitely was crazy. But it's funny, somebody who was it? I forgot, that said, wow, she picked up a lot from Spider-Man. Because she was just jumping everywhere. You saw her, bro?
Oh yeah, she was doing when the 50 was after her. Man, but the scene that got me was that beginning when she's arguing with her mom and her sister. Man. That shit, like, it was real. It was like watching real life footage or something, right? Like it didn't even look like
it definitely, and it's crazy because shows like this, man, cause trauma too. It's this crazy shit because you get invested in them emotionally, and they pull in your heartstrings, man, and you walk away from that feeling a certain way. It's crazy, man. The way these shows are right now, it's programming too.
She's very talented, man. Like I think she produces the show, or she does something like executive. But yeah,
I love the show.
Props.
But if I'm gonna have any kind of criticism,
that's aside from the nerd shit.
Too many cocks on it. Enough with the cocks. Every episode, bro,
she's
is like 45
you gotta,
cocks, bro.
You gotta. Yeah, I look away.
I'm secure, but with myself and my manhood, but
they kind of OD.
I don't got OD, son. Like, damn, throw more titties in that shit or something. Balance it out, bro.
Yeah, balance it out.
It's crazy, bro.
But like the whole storyline of her addiction and then the homegirls, you know what I mean? Like,
it reminded me of Kids.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Kids, bro?
Of course.
I think they definitely took a page out of that and just expanded on it. And I'm not saying that they replicated it totally, because I think for this time it fucking personifies this era to a T right now, bro.
So a person
because
that's like
exactly what these kids are going through. And it's funny, right? Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but there was a one point in that last episode where
I didn't know you watched it. To be honest,
that drug dealer, remember the drug dealer, the chick?
Yeah.
There's a few drug dealers in there.
You're talking about the one that she took the drugs from.
The boss chick, right?
Yeah. And she was all calm, and I thought she was gonna spaz
never
out.
Angry, right? She's like, I'm
super
never
psycho,
angry.
super psycho.
Super,
she could snap at any minute.
She said that.
I'm surprised she helped her.
Yeah. And she was like, I was on opioids too. And she said, I didn't even know I was addicted until I ran out. Because I had got into a car accident or whatever accident she got into. And then she got into oxys, and then she started taking them. And she said she didn't even know she was addicted until she ran out of it. And this is what happens with this new era, that it's just a pill. Super easy to just swallow.
That's how it starts. Painkillers, and it gets out of control. You're
not understanding how easy it is to like get addicted to this.
And you got to make it stronger and stronger. And listen, man, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to say like,
that when you look at the root of it, it's fucking heroin, bro. So
opioids, yeah.
And look,
what this show is doing, it's entertaining, but it's bringing light to
awareness.
A real opioid. A drug epidemic.
That is the pandemic right now, bro.
And that's that's killing people of all ages, creeds, color. That shit don't discriminate. And it's sad, man. Like people really going through it. There's people really going through it. And I'm glad that she's bringing light to it. But from a cinematography, the way it's shot, the way it looks, the music, that show is sick.
Yeah. Sick. It is. It's definitely one of the greatest shows going on right now. Yep. It's so funny with so much shit to watch. There really isn't a lot of shit that I like.
There's a lot of shit that I skip.
I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I throw on fucking Chopped. Like, I just watch an episode of Chopped because it's mindless and there's no value, and you're not gonna invest in it, man.
We gotta get a guest to talk Dragon Ball Z with you, because I know you're a super Dragon Ball Z nerd, but I can't keep up with you on that. So I want to bring somebody in to let's bring somebody in to get in the Dragon Ball Z talk.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, we appreciate your time. We're signing off. Next one, we'll get a guest in. We're gonna do a chess game and duel to the death.
What is it? It is oldschoolnewvibes@gmail.com.
You said their email.
Yeah, no, if you want to be a guest, or if you have any inquiries, or if maybe you want us to talk about your music,
shoot us a DM on Instagram.
On Instagram as well, Old School New Vibes. Let's take a listen to your album. We'll break it down. We'll give our honest opinion on it. We have no hidden agenda on this. Whether it's that or any kind of creative out there that wants, just some criticism on it.
Collab.
Or collab, hit us up.
So after
us to promote your product. Go ahead.
Yeah. So after this video ends, I throw on the graphic. Follow us on all these platforms.
Yo.
And so,
that's dope.
That's
dope. Yo, put my name, put some lights around my name, son.
I'm gonna put a neon, purple neon lights over your name, go.
Yo, put that shit, go.
You know what I mean?
Yo, shout out to everybody. ARK_Medina on all social media platforms. You got theme.
Yeah, I mean, right now my shit is. I got my shit private. If you're cool enough, I'll accept you. But I got a lot of stuff with my kid now, and I don't want to open to the public. But please follow us on Old School New Vibes on Instagram. We want to blow that IG up. You know what I mean? Yes. So show us some love, guys. We appreciate it.
Yes, on YouTube. Subscribe. It's free. It's free, y'all.
It's free to show love, guys.
Oh, we on TikTok now too, son.
Oh, word. We got to get some,
Old School New Vibes on TikTok. Theme is gonna get up and do we're gonna do some TikTok dances. You know what I'm saying, for y'all. Yeah.
Anyway, so catch up with you guys soon. Much love, and we'll see you on the next one, guys.
Peace.